Hello, and thank you for joining me on another episode of the Tech Exec Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Ben-Yosef, and today our subject is fooling no one. Before getting to that, if you're watching or listening to this timely as it goes out, I want to let you know that I spontaneously decided to hold a free live stream, 45 minutes-ish, about setting objectives. This is OKR season. For many of you, that's accompanied with a huge sigh. However, I want to help you create objectively better objectives to ensure that you're going to be successful in 2025. So, free session, you can sign up in the link in the description and the show notes. And even if you cannot attend, you'll get the recording. So, you ain't got nothing to lose, but I hope to see you there live. And now, fooling no one. I recently had an appointment to get a haircut, as you might be able to see if you're watching the video version. And as so often happens, I got to the barber and right on time. However, as I entered, I already saw that not only was he still with the previous person, but there was another person waiting. Immediately, my spidey senses started tingling. He has some backlog here. Even though I could see it and everyone else could see it, the barber kept discussing as if, nothing's the matter. We're just talking about 2-3 minutes delay, where we all can see that this is going to mean each one of us is going to be delayed at least 20 minutes-ish. And as I'm sitting there, eventually my turn starts. I sit to get my haircut, and then, not only that the person who needs to come after me has already arrived, also the person after them because of the delay. And we're starting to see these cascading delays. What I want to use this as an example is the fact that he kept trying to hide this from us, where we could all see that there's a delay. And that was worse than pretty much anything else he could do, because come on, we can all see it. By trying to make us go, hey, look there, we're not buying it. Now, this is not me lamenting life. These sorts of things happen. Okay. However, I want to take your attention to the aspect of how he acted, how he took accountability and responsibility for this situation. When we saw this, and some people even, mentioned, oh, there's a delay. He kept trying to gaslight us, and not with a bad intention. That was his protection mechanism of sorts. He was trying to say, no, it's fine, only a few minutes, don't worry, we're gonna be fast, da. And this behavior was actually worse than the delay itself, because we can all understand that things happened, but you can do something, and you can text people saying, come on, we have a slight delay, you can get in 10 minutes later, something like that. However, he did nothing of that sort and kept telling us it's all going to be fine, where we weren't fine. We were delayed. This is something that I regularly see with teams, because you know how you start working on a big milestone, you have a quarterly milestone, and the first couple of weeks go slow. You have the 1-month check-in, and all of a sudden, it's clear to everyone around, for the stakeholders, it's clear to the salespeople waiting for a feature, whatever, that, this looks like it's not going to be ready on time. And sometimes the product and engineering try to make it seem like, no, everything's going to be fine, we're on track. And the problem with that is that when I can obviously see that things are not going as planned, if you don't have any real explanation for what you're going to be doing differently, I no longer believe you. I start thinking that you're hiding things from me, or that you're not competent enough to understand when things are not working. When that's the case, I naturally start being more wary. I start having to micromanage you more. I maybe will ask for more details. I might be more prescriptive when I'm assigning work. I might try to get a lot of input from you whenever you're designing something. I might ask you, hey, who's working on this? How's it going? Oh, I saw that guy is going on vacation. All those things that are annoying, because they're eating away at your agency because you don't have enough trust. And this happens because when you have these cascading delays, when you have things that happen, I'm not saying you always have to deliver things spotlessly, with no delay, ever, with no mistakes. That's not going to happen. I am saying that you have to learn how to communicate well. You cannot hide things, especially when they're in plain sight. You cannot try and make people look the other way. You have to address things like a grown up. You have to learn how to communicate about things in a way that handles things, even if it's not perfect, even if you have to admit that there's an issue. You give me the possibility to be aware of it in time, to maybe change plans, to be able to let others know down the line, downstream, about the effects of this, as opposed to fearing that you're going to let me know that it's not working at the last second, or worse, pretending that you shipped something that works only for me to realize when users actually tried that it's not good enough. Our takeaway is that you have to face the truth when things don't work, because you're not fooling anyone. You're not able to make me think that this thing is working or is gonna work out when I can see that there are issues. If you still believe you can make it, okay, explain to me why. Don't say don't worry, it's gonna be fine. Give me some reasoning, because you would ask the same of any peer who you would be counting on to deliver something, and then you will see that there are delays. That's the grown up way of working with your peers, and that's also how you stop being that tech person, that CTO or VP of engineering that no one treats really as a peer, but someone that is some sort of a resource, and move into a position where you actually are collaborating with the rest of the executives and become a genuine leader in the company. And I think that's critical. And also, it just means that when things happen, you don't have the stress of having to hide it, and others don't have the stress of being afraid that you're hiding something that you're going to find out too late. It's just easier for everyone to just be more candid and honest and talk about things when there are delays, as opposed to trying to, go for the ostrich method of sticking your hand in the sand. I hear it doesn't get the commits out any faster. So let's not do that. I hope that this aids you, and actually this is very useful as you're reviewing your OKRs for this quarter and for this year, as you're thinking about your OKRs for the next year. And again, if it's OKR season for you and you want objectively better objectives, check out the free live stream I'm holding this week. That's it for this week. Thank you for joining me. As always, do check out my newsletter, which is the best newsletter online for tech executives, where I have every week this podcast, an article, a video, exclusive stuff. So check it out, and I'll see you next week.